Number 12. Agave Nectar, the healthy sugar daddy. So you're at the grocery store, right? You're feeling virtuous, bypassing the candy aisle like a monk strolling past a donut shop. You see that little bottle of agave nectar, looking all innocent and natural, spring sweet nothings about being a low-glycemic, plant-based miracle. You swap it out for your usual sugar, pat yourself on the back, and head home feeling like a health guru. Well, I'm here to burst your organic, gluten-free bubble. Agave in its natural state is a lovely plant. Tequila, anyone? But the agave nectar redrizzling over your chia seed pudding has been processed within an inch of its life. We're talking high heat, enzymatic wizardry, and enough refining to make a crude oil refinery blush. The result? A syrup that's often 70 to 90% fructose. It's not just any fructose, the kind that your liver absolutely adores. Processing into fat? Seriously, studies have shown that high fructose consumption is linked to increased belly fat, insulin resistance, and a whole host of other metabolic nasties that sugar itself is notorious for. So while you thought you were escaping the clutches of the white granulated devil, you just swapped it for a seemingly healthier, but equally insidious, imposter that's basically wearing a tiny, smug, organic crown. Congratulations, you've been bamboozled by a plant-based imposter. Number 11. Coconut oil. The tropical trap. Remember when coconut oil was the undisputed king of the health food world? It was in everything. Your smoothies, your coffee, your hair, probably even your pet's food. Bloggers raved, celebrities endorsed, and suddenly, everyone was slathering this tropical elixir on everything. The promise was simple: good fats. Boosts metabolism. Brain food. And sure, it does contain medium-chain triglycerides, which are metabolized differently than other fats and can provide a quick energy source. Sounds great, right? Here's the catch. And it's a big, greasy one. Coconut oil is primarily saturated fat, like 90% saturated fat. It's even more than butter, which we've been told to avoid for decades. While the debate around saturated fat and heart health is complex and evolving, blindly guzzling spoonfuls of coconut oil, because some influencer said so, might not be the best strategy for your ticker. Your arteries aren't throwing a ticker tape parade for all that saturated goodness. It's like inviting a party guest who promises to bring good vibes, but then shows up with a tuba and only plays polka music. Sure, it's energy, but maybe not the kind you actually want for your long-term health. Number 10. Almond milk. The nutty water you've decided to ditch dairy? It's probably after watching a documentary that made you feel vaguely guilty about cows. So, you reach for almond milk, because almonds are healthy, right? They've got healthy fats, vitamin E, all sorts of good stuff. And then you look at the ingredients list on most commercial almond milks. What do you see? Out of water. Like 98% water. Then, maybe 2% actual almonds, some added sugars, thickeners, emulsifiers, and a pinch of salt. You're basically buying expensive, vaguely almond-flavored water with a side of stabilizers. Unless you're buying unsweetened varieties, you're also probably getting a healthy dose of added sugar, which defeats the purpose of choosing a healthy alternative in the first place. You think you're getting a nutrient-dense, creamy beverage, but in reality, you're often getting a highly processed, calorically empty liquid that's barely seen an almond in its life. It's the health food equivalent of going to a concert to see your favorite band, only to find out it's a tribute act composed entirely of water bottles and a single lonely almond. Number 9. Gluten-free everything. The wheat-free wonderland. So, you walked into the grocery store, and suddenly, every other package screams gluten-free. You see gluten-free cookies, gluten-free pasta, gluten-free bread that tastes suspiciously like cardboard, and you think, aha, this must be healthier. After all, everyone's talking about gluten, and it sounds vaguely evil, like a villain from a B movie. You might have even heard someone complain about gluten sensitivity at a dinner party while dramatically clutching their stomach. Here's the deal. Unless you have celiac disease, a legitimate autoimmune disorder where gluten actively damages your small intestine, or a medically diagnosed non-celiac gluten sensitivity, going gluten-free is probably not doing your health any favors. In fact, many gluten-free products are highly processed, packed with refined starches, added sugars, and unhealthy fats to make them palatable. They often lack the fiber, vitamins, and minerals found in whole grains. You're essentially swapping one set of potential issues for another, often less nutritious one. It's like deciding to avoid all cars because you once got a flat tire, and now you're just walking everywhere. But wearing really expensive, uncomfortable shoes? Number 8. Protein bars. The candy bar in disguise. You're rushing out the door, no time for a proper meal. So you grab a protein bar. It's got protein right there in the name, so it must be good for you, right? It promises to fuel your muscles, curb your hunger, and probably even make you instantly buff. You tear into it, feeling all wholesome and athletic. But have you ever actually read the nutrition label on some of these things? Many so-called protein bars are essentially glorified candy bars with a sprinkle of whey isolate. We're talking high sugar content, artificial sweeteners, questionable oils, and a list of ingredients longer than your arm. Some of them pack as much sugar as a regular chocolate bar, if not more. While some genuinely good protein bars exist, designed for specific dietary needs or workout recovery, the vast majority are just a convenient way to get a quick hit of sugar and processed ingredients. It's masquerading as a health product. It's like putting a tiny spinach leaf on top of a quadruple cheeseburger and calling it a salad. Your body knows the difference, even if your marketing-addled brain doesn't. Number 7. Flavored yogurt. The dairy dessert deception yogurt. In its plain, unadulterated form, is a fantastic source of probiotics, calcium, and protein. It's great for your gut, good for your bones, and generally a wholesome food. But then, capitalism got its sticky fingers on it. And suddenly we have strawberry cheesecake swirl yogurt, key lime pie yogurt, and chocolate fudge brownie yogurt. You see the fruit on the label, you think healthy dairy, and you toss it in your cart. What you're actually buying is often a sugar bomb masquerading as a healthy snack. The fruit is typically a fruit preparation, a syrupy concoction with very little actual fruit, and a whole lot of added sugar, artificial flavors, and sometimes even artificial colors. Some single servings of flavored yogurt contain more sugar than a soda. You're not getting a healthy dose of fruit. You're getting a dessert that happens to have some dairy in it. It's like inviting someone over for a healthy, home-cooked meal. And then, serving them a bowl of sugar with a single lonely berry floating on top claiming it's fruit-infused. Number 6. Veggie Chips. The potato chip in a green jacket. You're at the party. It's trying to make good choices. So you bypass the greasy potato chips and reach for the bag of veggie chips. They look so virtuous with their subtle hues of orange and green, promising a guilt-free snacking experience. You assume you're getting a healthy dose of vegetables, vitamins, and fiber because, well, they're veggie chips, right? Wrong? So incredibly wrong. Most commercially available veggie chips are predominantly made from potato starch, cornstarch, or rice flour with a tiny y. Almost negligible amount of actual vegetable powder or puree added for color and a whisper of flavor. They're often fried in unhealthy oils and loaded with sodium, just like their potato chip cousins. You're essentially eating a highly processed, fried snack that looks healthy, but offers little to no nutritional benefit beyond what a regular potato chip would. It's like buying a hybrid car that runs entirely on gasoline. But it's painted green so you feel better about your carbon footprint. Don't let the marketing fool you. Your body knows the difference between a real carrot and a brightly colored deep-fried carbohydrate disc. Number 5. Granola. The ODE deception? Granola. The breakfast of hikers, health enthusiasts, and anyone who's ever aspired to live in a cabin in the woods. It's got oats, often nuts, seeds, and sometimes even dried fruit. Sounds wholesome, rustic, and full of fiber, doesn't it? You pour a generous helping into your bowl, feeling like you're nourishing your body with nature's goodness. And then you remember that most commercial granolas are practically dessert in a bag. They're often laden with added sugars, syrups, and unhealthy oils to create those deliciously crunchy clusters you crave. A single serving can contain more sugar than a donut, and the calorie count can skyrocket, especially if you're not measuring precisely. You think you're getting a fiber-rich, slow-burning fuel, but you're often getting a quick sugar rush followed by a crash. It's the health food equivalent of trying to save money by making your own lunch, but then buying a gourmet sandwich, a fancy coffee, and 3 pastries on your way to work. Your good intentions are admirable, but the execution needs a serious reality check. Number 4. Fat-free dressings. The flavorless fat trap for decades. Fat was the enemy. Everything had to be fat-free or low-fat. So naturally, when you're looking for a healthy salad dressing, you gravitate towards the fat-free options. You imagine yourself dousing your leafy greens in a guilt-free calorie-slashing elixir. But here's the unappetizing truth. When food manufacturers take out the fat, they have to put something else in to make it taste good, or at least taste like something. And that something is almost always sugar, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial sweeteners, along with a medley of thickeners and artificial flavors. Not only are you often replacing healthy fats with sugar, but these dressings often leave you feeling unsatisfied, leading you to eat more. Your salad, which started as a bastion of health, becomes a delivery system for hidden sugars and chemicals. It's like buying a diet soda that tastes vaguely of regret and desperation. Your body needs healthy fats. It doesn't need a sugar solution masquerading as a savory accompaniment. Number 3. Dried fruit. The shriveled sugar bomb you're trying to snack healthy, so you skip the candy and grab a bag of dried apricots or a handful of raisins. They're fruit, right? A fruit is good for you. It's packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber. You feel virtuous, munching away on these little shriveled nuggets of goodness. But here's the sticky truth. When fruit is dried, its water content is removed, which drastically concentrates its sugars. What might be a reasonable amount of sugar in a whole fresh apple becomes a massive sugar hit in a handful of apple rings. And let's not even start on those seemingly innocent cranberries or cherries, which are often sweetened with additional sugar to make them palatable. You're essentially eating a very dense, often highly caloric, and extremely sugary snack, disguised as a healthy fruit option. It's like taking a nice, refreshing glass of water and boiling it down until it's a tiny, super sweet syrup that barely quenches your thirst. Your brain registers fruit, but your bloodstream is screaming sugar. Number 2. Sports drinks. The electrolyte hoax you see athletes chugging these brightly colored concoctions on TV, sweat dripping, muscles rippling.
Oh.
The commercials promise rapid rehydration, electrolyte replenishment, and peak performance. So, after a light jog around the block, or maybe just a particularly strenuous Netflix binge, you grab a sports drink, feeling like you're doing your body a favor. The reality? Unless you're an elite athlete engaged in prolonged, intense exercise, you absolutely do not need a sports drink. These beverages are essentially sugar water with a pinch of electrolytes. The vast majority of people get all the electrolytes they need from a balanced diet. And water is perfectly sufficient for rehydration after typical daily activities or moderate exercise. Drinking a sports drink when you dainty need it is just a fast track to consuming unnecessary added sugars and empty calories. It's like buying a high-performance race car for your daily commute to the grocery store. Overkill, expensive, and probably not doing you any favors in the long run. Number 1. Multigrain. Whole wheat bread. The brown bread imposter. You're trying to be healthy, so you ditch the evil white bread and proudly select a loaf labeled multigrain, or whole wheat. It looks darker, feels denser, and surely it's bursting with fiber and nutrients, right? It sounds healthy, wholesome, and responsible. Here's where the bread aisle plays its cruelest trick. Multigrain simply means it contains. It's more than one type of grain. Those grains might still be highly refined, so whole wheat can be misleading too. Unless the first ingredient on the list explicitly says 100% whole wheat flour. You could be buying a loaf that's mostly refined white flour with a bit of whole wheat added for color and marketing appeal. Many of these breads still have a high glycemic index, meaning they can spike your blood sugar almost as much as white bread. And they might be loaded with added sugars, high fructose corn syrup, and unnecessary dough conditioners. You thought you were making a smart swap, but you might just be eating white bread in a clever disguise. It's the dietary equivalent of putting a pair of glasses on a dog and calling him a professor. Don't fall for the brown bread bait and switch. Check that ingredient list like your health depends on it. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Let's subscribe to see them.